Plaintiff Michael Sweeney and his daughter Kelsey say Michael is a single parent of 3, and he has always tried to look out for his kids. Michael says when Kelsey started dating the defendant, who's 15 years older than her, he was concerned, and his fears came true after the police were called for domestic violence. Michael's suing him for an unpaid loan. Defendant Christopher Brooks dated Kelsey for 5 years, and he says they were wonderful together until they had a falling out 6 months ago. Christopher says he suspected Kelsey was cheating, and his suspicions led to an argument. Christopher insists there was no repayment deadline.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I was awarded custody by 3 children back in 1995. I'm a single parent. I've done everything in my life to try and give them a good life. Years ago, when I found out that Kelsey was dating Chris, he's about 15 years older than she is, threw a lot of grave concern into me. And eventually down the road, there was money eventually stolen out of my daughter's checking account. There was suspected drug use. Eventually, the police were called on domestic violence. All my fears at that point became reality. That's why I was very protective. That's why we're here today.
You initially started dating your daughter. Sounds like you were suspicious of him then.
I was suspicious from day one. I was not a happy camper.
Because of his age?
That was the primary thing, because of his age.
Let me hear from you, sir.
Your Honor, as far as being with his daughter, me and his daughter have been together for about 5 years. Okay, it's been a wonderful 5 years up until about 6 months ago. We had a falling out, just like
during
any relationship.
During the course of those 5 years, did Mr. Sweeney express any concern regarding your relationship?
At times he did, just because of my age, and then you know.
What did he say?
He just wanted to make sure that, like in the beginning, about the first 6 months, you know, I'm not exactly his daughter's age. I am 15 years older, so he really couldn't talk to me the way he would talk to his children. So just because I am older, I had my own place. I mean, All
right, but what did he say?
Well, he said, you know, he just said, I want to make sure you're here for the long run. You know, I want to make sure you're not just here just to have a younger girlfriend or anything. So 5 years later, I was still there. So, I mean, obviously, I care deeply about his daughter.
What about the other things, the fighting or assaults, if you will?
Like I said, in the last 6 months, me and his daughter did have a falling out.
That was the only time that you all had such a big problem?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Yes. I didn't steal from his daughter. I borrowed some money from his daughter to pay off a job.
We're going to get to that. I suppose that's the loan that he's suing about. Yep. All right, so 6 months ago. And what occurred?
Basically, it was just, you know, like the Facebook thing, and some other little things led me up to believe that you know, maybe she wanted to break up, or maybe she was seeing someone else. So it got to the point that it escalated.
What was the breaking point? The last straw. The day of the last straw, what was said?
Almost that Facebook thing pretty much almost did it. I mean, seeing a bunch of stuff on there and not seeing things on there, and then just text messages that were being deleted and stuff, it really bothered me, and I went to confront her about it. One thing was said, another thing was said, and it just escalated from there.
All right.
So,
ma'am, you want to say anything?
For the most part, it was good. Just in the last 6 months, I've always been responsible. I've always been smart. Love kind of blinds you sometimes, I guess you could say. I didn't see everything I should have seen, and
so you all blame each other pretty much. He sounds like he's suggesting he believes you cheated, and what are you saying he did?
I'm not saying anything except for that night, just not being. It pretty much opened my eyes, and I don't feel that I didn't do anything wrong if I wasn't cheating, or I didn't have pictures of Facebook of him on Facebook. Then I don't think that should be anything to lead to have police involved. Or
Gotcha, the police got involved. Sir, let's hear about the unpaid loans you're suing him for.
Well, Your Honor, some time ago, back around December, January
of 2012.
A friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine in the air conditioning trade, informed me that Kelsey, my daughter, and Chris had gotten a big job. They were also prepaid for that big job.
So they were in business? You had an actual business?
She had the actual business. It was her business. Chris worked for her, with her. It was her license, so the check was written out in her name. the check was deposited. When it came time for the material, the air conditioning equipment to be set, there was no money left to buy it with. My acquaintance came to me and said, there's going to be a lot of problems here if this job isn't completed. The check was written out to your daughter. We can and will file a lawsuit.
How did they know that the defendant took the money out?
They surmised from his actions.
What actions
were those? And from that actions, that's what they told me.
What actions were those?
Lying, untruthfulness.
About what?
About what he was doing on the job, about what he can do on the job.
And that made them believe that they weren't going to be able to complete the job because he had taken the money.
Absolutely, it made them believe that.
Because he had taken the money.
They believed that the equipment and material was not on the job site because the money was gone.
Okay, so it was
and
late.
Somehow they found out money was gone. How that happened, I do not know. I was
the equipment was already late getting on the job.
Very late. Being on the job. That's what started getting me more and more involved because they started getting me more and more involved. The contractor.
You loaned him money? How much did you loan him and why are you suing him for it? How much did you loan him?
I loaned him a total of $3,204 along with court costs.
When was he to pay you?
He was to pay me March 6th.
What were the terms?
The terms were to be paid in full March 6th, or my daughter would be arrested and go to jail.
All right, sir.
Your Honor, that's not true.
You never borrowed any money?
I did borrow money.
So that part is true.
That part is true.
What else?
There was never a specific date set up for the loan. Me and Michael never talked about a specific date for the loan because me and his daughter...
When did you expect to pay him?
Basically, as soon as jobs picked up. I mean,
Sir,
Michael knows this as well.
what evidence that you have he was to repay it in March?
This was an agreement that he made with the contractor.
Let's see it, please.
To have it delivered.
That was with the contractor, Your Honor, not with Michael.
By March 6th, all units are to be under warranty. This doesn't say anything about him repaying you, sir.
No, sir. That was done at my house when I called Chris and Kelsey to be at my house before March 6th, find out how this was to be paid. So because that piece of paper, Your Honor, said that she was going to be in jail.
You all agreed on a March 6th deadline?
Yes, sir. We agreed on a March 6th deadline.
I deny it, sir.
And you say it happened when you all were discussing it at the home with your daughter present?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I ask you, ma'am, are you a witness to a March 6th deadline?
Yes, we were supposed to pay my dad off with the...
All right, repay him by March 6th. You agree?
Yes.
All right, unless you have something in writing, I'm going to take their word over you. It's 2-1. You have anything in writing?
No, sir.
I'm going to go with the 2 over the 1. Have a good day, judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I would like to see us remain friends if at all possible. As far as after 5 years, I just hate for things to end the way they have. So if we could remain friends, that would be great.
I've been made whole. I have no control over my daughter's life. She's 24 years old. I hope she can make better, smarter decisions than what she's made in the past, and we can all move forward.